Okay, she keep going every single night. Then I on my mind, pushing you to ride.
How's it going, everybody? This is Tyler Drapo. Hope you're having another great day, and welcome back to another video. Alright, it's time for another edition of Haulin Games. In this series, I'll talk about all the game pickups I got throughout every month, and for this one, I'm going to be talking about all the pickups that I got for the month of January of 2022. So for my first month of video game collecting for 2022, I really didn't get as many games this time as I did the last couple of months. Obviously, I wanted to take it easy just a little bit, so hence why the lesser amount of games here in this month's collection than you saw in November and December. I still managed to find some good ones here for this month's collection, and to start out the new year, I found a few that I really like here. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what we got. So we're gonna go ahead and start out with the PlayStation 1 games that I got here. The very first one that I got here is called Newman Haas Racing. Now, this is almost similar to the IndyCar series video game that I got for the PS2, however, this one is more based on the kart series. There's actually a lot more road courses here in this video game to go along with a couple oval tracks as well. So there's a lot more variety here in this one compared to just the IndyCar series PS2 game, which is mainly just all ovals. You know, with all the excitement about an IndyCar game being released again this year, you know, I'm hopeful to find any more video games related to the IndyCar series I can get before it does come out. So yeah, this is one of them, and let's see if there's any more that I can find. Next game I got, this one completes the Destruction Derby collection that I have. This is Destruction Derby Raw. This was released all the way back in 2000, and it's the third game of the Destruction Derby franchise. Obviously, this is almost similar to the first two Destruction Derby games. However, there's also a mode here where if you wreck cars, you can actually get money, and you keep going until all of your cars are destroyed and you're basically out of money. So I do like that mode. It makes things a little bit more exciting in this game. Yeah, I won't say it's as exciting as the first Destruction Derby or Destruction Derby Arenas and all that stuff. It's probably a little bit more bland than those two, as well as Destruction Derby 2, but hey, it's still another good one, and now this officially completes the Destruction Derby franchise, so I'm happy that I have all four of them. Another game in the Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six franchise is Rogue Spear. This is released all the way back in 2000, and it's the third game of the Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six franchise for the original PlayStation 1. I don't know too much about this one compared to the first two Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six games, but obviously if it's any different, it's probably just going to be the same as the previous two. You know, it's mainly just like tactical group shooters, all that stuff, and usually those are not my kind of things, but Tom Clancy games were pretty popular back then, so I felt like it would be time to go ahead and get this one to add to my collection. Next up in this lot is called Soviet Strike. Now, this is actually the prequel to Nuclear Strike, which I got a couple months back. It's almost similar, you know, you're riding on these helicopters and you're trying to take down as many of your bad guys as possible. However, this mainly relates to everything that's happening in Russia at the time. So obviously we all know that war games usually tend to have a lot of Russian themes in this one, so obviously this one is no different. But after that, we got Vigilante 8. Now, if I'm right in saying this, I think this is more of Activision's take of Twisted Metal. I mean, I don't know if you would consider this the spiritual successor of that, but it's almost similar to Twisted Metal. It's pretty much all vehicle or combat, and a lot of really interesting characters in this video game, and pretty much everything in this game is almost uniquely similar to Twisted Metal. I won't say it's as exciting as the original Twisted Metal, but still, it's definitely a pretty good attempt to try to mock off of that one, and so I'm happy to have this one, and I'll look forward to playing this one a little bit more in the future. Next one I got is called X-Files. Now, this is a game that I've wanted to get for a little while. I've not seen the show X-Files, nor do I remember actually seeing it, but I do know this game was really a hit back in the late 1990s when the show was popular, so I felt like it would be good to get this one, which actually has 4 discs in it, so it's actually 4 games in one case here. That's really interesting. It's nice to add a little extra into just one game, so that's what makes it a lot more exciting than it usually be, and so I'm looking forward to playing this one. After that, we have Duke Nukem Time to Kill. Now, those of you that talk about Duke Nukem, we usually talk about, you know, Duke Nukem Forever, which was released back in 2011, and that it was usually a pretty cruddy and very bad game, as we all know. This one, unfortunately, was not that much better. I mean, the graphics are a little cruddy, and the gameplay is unusually slow as well, and so obviously I felt like it would be good to get this one before I try to go after Duke Nukem Forever and whatever Duke Nukem games there are still out there to get, but I'm happy having it in the collection, but at the same time, it's not that all good. Next up, now, this is probably one of the most famous games in all of video gaming. I know a lot of people are big fans of this franchise. I've never personally gotten a game from this franchise before, and I've really contemplated whether or not I would want to get this by now, but folks, I felt like this was the month. I finally did it. This is Final Fantasy VII, by far one of the greatest role-playing games there is in the entire universe of video gaming. I mean, it really goes up there with all the popular hits for the PlayStation 1, like, you know, the Metal Gear Solids and the Grand Theft Autos and Drivers and Medal of Honor and all of that stuff. This is probably one of the most famous games in the history of video gaming, and one that really just took the RPG genre by storm. I mean, this was really the game you would want to get, and so I felt like now is the time to finally get a Final Fantasy game, and the one that really revolutionized it. And yeah, it's a pretty good one so far. I like it, and I'm looking forward to playing more of it. A couple more games to add to the PS1 collection. This one is Ballerina Toshinden. Now, this one is almost more like, you know, Mortal Kombat, however less deadly. This is more of those one-on-one fighting games that you would see during the early 1990s, and so happy to have this one along with the next game, Treasure Planet. This one was really another one of those movie games that was released for the PlayStation 1, and probably one of the very last ones for the PlayStation 1 as well. And, you know, I felt like it was time to go ahead and get this one, and, you know, when I get the chance, hopefully it will be as good as the movie is. So we'll see exactly what it plays like. And that's basically going to do it for all the PlayStation 1 games that I have for this month. I'm going to go ahead and move on now to the PlayStation 2 games. Like I said, not too much. However, there were a few good ones that I got here that I really personally want to get, and also ones that I enjoy as well. So we'll go through a few of these one by one. The first one of them is called Need for Speed Pro Street. Now, unlike all the previous Need for Speed games that came out before that time, this one actually focuses on racing on closed circuits nationwide, including famous racetracks around the world. So this one is probably more illegal than the Need for Speed Undergrounds and Most Wanted and all of that stuff, and it's really just more of a different take than all previous Need for Speed games. So it's definitely an interesting one, and I felt like it would be time to go ahead and give this one a shot. A couple more games that I have here. This one is DT Racer. This is another one of those tuner racing games where you get to customize your own cars and race tracks around the world. So it's really almost similar to Need for Speed Pro Street, but this is a really good one. But the next one really gets me all jacked up. It's Splashdown Riders Gone Wild. Those of you that know me know that I recently became a huge fan of the original Splashdown when I got it last year. This one right here is the sequel to it, and I felt like now would be a really good time to go ahead and get this one in. If this is almost anything similar to the first one, I'm going to have a whole lot of fun with Splashdown Riders Gone Wild. It's going to be almost very similar and maybe a little more unique than the original one, and yeah, I'm really going to enjoy this one. I'm looking forward to playing this one. Probably already one of my favorite pickups of this year by far so far. Next up, we have Cars Major National Championship. Now, this is a little bit more of a spin-off from the original Cars video game that was released based off of the movie in 2006. Here, this is based off the Radiator Springs Nationals, where you're racing against drivers from around the world across various portions of Radiator Springs, and really it's pretty much simple, you know, just be the best driver out of all of them. So it's nothing different compared to the original Cars game. Then we have Thunderstrike Operation Phoenix. Now, this is the PlayStation 2 sequel of the original PlayStation 1 game, Thunderstrike 2. It's almost no different to that one. It's pretty much just the same. You're in a helicopter, and you're pretty much trying to take down as many of the bad guys as possible and complete as many objectives as you can, too. Definitely a really unique game. There's a whole lot of destruction in this one as well, and so it's definitely a real interesting one, and, you know, I'm looking forward to playing a little bit more of this one. A couple more PlayStation 2 games. The first one is 18-Wheeler American Pro Trucker. Now, obviously, this is a really short game. This only has 4 missions in it, and you're just trying to get to your opponent destination before your opponent does. So really, it's a short game. I wish there was a lot more to it, but I'm happy to have this one along with the next one, Godai Elemental Force. This is pretty much more of those like samurai kung fu games that you have there. It's almost similar to Samurai Jack there, but I don't really know too much about this one, and I just felt like that I really wanted to get, you know, like more of a samurai game to go along with all the other games that I've gotten, because it's mainly just been like more racing, war, and other action and arcade games and all that stuff. So I felt like I needed to branch out just a little bit. So yeah, it's definitely an interesting one, and when I get the chance, I'll definitely see exactly what this plays like, and hopefully it's pretty good. We're gonna go ahead and move on now to the PlayStation 3 games. Now, there weren't too many. In fact, I only got 3 games in my collection for the PS3, but, you know, there were a couple of pretty good ones. The first one that I have here is called Saints Row the Third. Now, this was released all the way back in 2011, and it's really much the sequel to Saints Row 2, which is a game that I actually really want to get. I'm hoping I can get that one soon. Really, it's pretty much one of those sequels where it really much is a copycat to Grand Theft Auto. It's almost really similar to it, but more of a different take. So it's definitely an interesting franchise, and hopefully I get a second Saints Row soon, and hopefully this game is pretty good as well. Then we have Assassin's Creed 3. This is another game in the Assassin's Creed franchise, and pretty much almost similar to the first 2 Assassin's Creed games that I got here, so nothing really different. And then the final one for this this month is called Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning. Now, I don't know almost anything about this game other than that it really much takes place during the early days of civilization and all of that, and it's really almost similar to Beowulf the game, so there's a lot of third-person stuff and really a lot of hack and slash and all of the action stuff in this game as well. So, but when I do get the chance to play this game, hopefully we'll see exactly what this is about, and if it's good, and maybe I'll play a little bit more of this in the future, so we'll see about this one. And finally, I got only one PlayStation 4 game, but it's a game that I felt like I wanted to add in my collection for a little while, so I'm happy to get this one. It is called Drive Club. Now, this is pretty much similar to Gran Turismo. You get to race your own cars across various tracks around the world. And yeah, it's pretty much that Gran Turismo copycat, you know. It's pretty much the same concept, you know, collect your own cars, make a whole lot of money, go out and race, try to win a whole lot of races, and, you know, try to be the best driver there is in the world. And so, really, for an attempt to try to mimic Gran Turismo, I felt like this was a pretty good one. I will be honest with you, I wish it was a little better than it would have been, but it's another good one. And that's pretty much it for all the games that I got for January 2022. So a decent start to the year. Again, I just felt the need that I needed to tone down just a little bit, especially since I got quite a bit over the last couple months. So I felt like this would be a pretty good start for this year. But for considering that this was actually 5 Mondays, so obviously I got to go out for 3 Mondays, I still felt like I found some pretty good ones. And like I said, there are a couple more times where there could be 3 Mondays, or like I said, there was a holiday and all that stuff. So those will be opportune for me to try to find some more games that are in my collection. But obviously, as I said before, you know, I like video game collecting, and after what happened last year, I felt like that, you know, I want to tone down and maybe try to see if I can try to expand a little more. So I felt like this is a good start, and I'm looking forward to seeing what else I can get later this year. That being said, which game do I have here was your favorite for this month? Feel free to let me know down in the comments below, and I'll definitely be interested in hearing why you think that is. Otherwise, that's going to do it for this video. Hope you all enjoyed it. As always, if you'd like to see more of my content, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when my latest video is released. As always, be sure to comment below for future suggestions for all my videos, whether it's vlogs, projects, or challenges, or video game content, you name it. Leave it in the comments below, and I'll do my best to make them. As always, follow me on my social media. All the links are in the description below. That's going to do it for another midweek upload. I hope you all are having another great day. And as always, I hope to see all of you again in another video very soon. So long, everybody.